In 1992, Francis Fukuyama wrote a book called The End of History and the Last Man. The book talks about how the fall of the Soviet Union sparks the end of superpowers clashing over ideological differences, and thus liberal democracy was the final ideology, and people will be lifted from economic despair and cultural biases to emerge from our repeatings of history. The book is obviously viewed as 90s blind optimism. America did have foreign and domestic conflicts in the 90s, but you can't really pin that as an oxymoron of the book. I have disagreements with Fukuyama, but a lot of his critics did misinterpret him on a few things. For example, he obviously knows events will still happen. He just states that they won't be anything big enough to change the political system out of liberal democracy, which is, I don't know, a little too soon to fucking say, but whatever. Also, people interpret that Fukuyama was some sort of an American patriot who thinks the world should have the same values and ways of the American government. Except that's not true. Fukuyama says that Americans glamorize war and God too much to be post-historical. He stated that the European Union at the time was more on its way of being post-historical than America. There's a lot more with the book. Fukuyama also has other works, and there's even critiques of his books. You could go look into that, because history is far, far from fucking ending. You could disagree or agree that Western liberal democracy will make us post-ideological, and that people from all different sides of the political world will just be good friends, agree, disagree, whatever. But I think Fukuyama should at least be somewhat respected for not wrapping these beliefs under a patriotic lens with glorified nostalgia. I'm going to talk about the 1994 movie Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump might be the most political movie of all time, despite being framed as a post-ideological movie by the producers. To quote producer Stephen Tisch, Forrest Gump isn't about politics or conservative values, it's about humanity. It's about respect, tolerance, and unconditional love.
Love? Who's been screwing with this thing?
Well, tough shit. It's a political movie because everybody can see right fucking through it. Simple conservatives framed it as a movie that shows why you should reject counterculture and activism. Simple liberals are masochistic and say that the movie is great because it doesn't portray the past as a golden age, which is stupid. Just because the movie doesn't portray the past as the peak, it still doesn't actually have any statements or condone anything. I'm not going to get too smug because everyone has complained about the movie in this way, but taking all the bad things that happened in American history that affected many lives and just having it portrayed as boomers just being boomers, how wacky was that? In a way, that's political. Having anyone oppose the war in the movie be an immature punk is political. It's a political film trying not to be political. You cannot escape from ideology with these subject matters. Now, don't get me wrong, it's important to not let ideologies blind people. I actually did kind of like The Hunt for that reason, as it showcases that you shouldn't completely dehumanize others for your beliefs, and there is some merit to that. But you should at least be able to criticize other people's beliefs. And Forrest Gump is a movie that enables criticizing without actually criticizing anything. A movie so apolitical that it's political. There were a lot of homeless Vietnam veterans, and instead of making any actual statement, the movie just says, hey asshole, stand up, pick up your bootstraps, and run a fucking shrimp company. Like, okay, boomer. Notice how the only people who like the movie are extremely politically moderate or apolitical people. Leftists and whatever the hell right-wingers are LARPing now, Nazbols, paleo-conservatives, I can't fucking keep up. They both agree that the movie is shit. Leftists hate it because it sugarcoats America's struggles and demonizes activism, whereas right-wingers hate it because, Forrest is friendly with black people. I don't know, whatever. Forrest Gump will be forever remembered as 90s blind optimism. Blind optimism was a very common thing in the 90s, especially with TV shows and movies. Dick Wolf taught us if your district attorney's office is diverse enough, liberals will just ignore the flaws of the war on drugs. Whenever an ADA gets disillusioned with her job, then just write that her character gets killed off. Because why have any conflict with the status quo? Imagine being Dick Wolf and that you spent most of your life trying to make Americans respect the criminal justice system and then watching the protest. Do a better job next time, fuckface. The worst case for 90s blind optimism has to be The West Wing. Do I even have to go into fucking detail? A show that ruined an entire generation of Democrats by fetishizing mutual respect instead of ideology.
The fact that I may not look like some of the other Republicans who have crossed your path does not mean that I am any less inclined toward...
Here it comes.
Did you say offer me a job?
Yes. Associate White House Counsel.
Get conservatives and liberals both in the Supreme Court and portray it as balance. Portray it as the most uplifting fucking thing. Ideology means nothing if everybody just cares about their civic duty. No. People have made comparisons that the West Wing was the expectation of the post-ideology government and the Obama administration was the disappointing reality. A cool-headed, left-leaning, but not too left-leaning, president who wants to unite America through pragmatism over ideology. No matter how many times this cuck tried to appease conservatives, they were still going to hate his guts no matter what. So this mutual respect West Wing bullshit has no place in the real political world. I have my disagreements with Fukuyama. I think we should make it to paradise first, then get rid of the ideologies, not the other way around. But he's not dumb. He's clearly put a lot more thought into this instead of random TV producers like Sorkin. So Fukuyama, he was wrong about some things, but he should at least be respected for not fetishizing the status quo unlike these stupid fucking shows and movies.